Hey there, I'm Angela Sharp, and welcome to the Daily Mix. You guys, we have to start talking about something that I've heard a lot of talk about, and I'm starting to get really irritated with it. People are talking about canceling Halloween for little kids, the trick-or-treating part of Halloween. Now, granted, I would love to go trick-or-treating, but I'm too old for that. So this is really about the little children. Now, I understand COVID's a thing, and maybe you don't want little kids trampsing on your house, because everybody knows little kids are just full of germs. That's just what they are. But you can't take away everything little kids like. Already, most of them are doing school from their house. You know, they don't have their maybe normal babysitter. They can't go to their playground. They can't go play in the McDonald's play place or whatever. We cannot take away Halloween. So here's my suggestion. If you don't want kids coming to your house, that's fine. Just put like a bowl outside with candy in it. Now, I know the first old kid who comes to your house is gonna steal all that candy, but at least you tried to let Halloween happen. I'm gonna be so mad if we cancel Halloween. You guys, I have a great show for you today, so I think it's time to get started on today's Daily Mix. The wait is finally over.
Hundreds of cardboard cutouts of fans filled the auditorium at Harris-Stowe State University, and thousands more tuned in online as MLS for the Lou hosted a virtual unveil event to announce the team name and crest.
St. Louis's new Major League Soccer team is now kind of officially underway. People can buy stuff from the team store and all that big stuff. Now, if you missed it, I have to tell you, it was a very mixed bag, if you will. The reactions to the team name in particular was kind of mixed. So are you ready for the big reveal? Let's take a look.
There's always been something running through the city. A tenacity, a conviction, a swagger. A spirit that defined us years ago and propels us forward today. Rooted in our traditions, unrelenting in our vision for tomorrow. It's time to welcome back the world's game to America's first soccer capital. It's time to brush off boundaries and defy our limits. It's time to build something for today, for the future, for all of us. From Old North to South Grand, from the Metro East to west of 270. Come together, St. Louis. Rise like the Gateway Arch and let the world know this is our home. This is our city. Our crest opens through our iconic arch, standing as a gateway, open to all in our region. Lines representing the confluence of our rivers surge forward. Our colors are inspired by our city's flag, proud and unifying. This is what we stand for. This is our crest. We are St. Louis City SC.
Now, what do you think about that name, St. Louis City Football Club, Soccer Club? What do you think about that? I think a lot of people were kind of put off by the city part, but you know, I think we'll get used to it eventually. Now, you can always follow them on social media or visit their website, stlcitysc.com. More bad news, you guys, all because of COVID. After more than 50 years, the St. Louis Zoo has announced that sadly, the Emerson Children's Zoo will be closing later this year. The Children's Zoo was made to be very interactive and high touch, but with the way things have evolved due to COVID-19 and so many new safety measures in place, it just doesn't work anymore. So the zoo is in works to reimagine the 3.5-acre space. Now, you guys, this kind of weirds me out a little bit. They're reimagining the whole space, which means they don't think we're ever gonna get back to the place where you can, you know, highly touch things in the area. That is a little bit concerning to me. Now, in the meantime, they're gonna have a temporary dinosaur exhibit that'll open next spring. For now, the Children's Zoo will remain open with free admission through the end of October, so now's your time to go if you're gonna miss it. We'll be sure to keep you up to date with all the zoo's plans, and you can always follow them on social media at stlzoo.org for the latest information. Now, if you're planning a trip to the Missouri Botanical Garden, you can once again enjoy the tropical rainforest setting inside the Climatron. I have to tell you guys, I spend so much time of my life at the Climatron. In high school, we had to partner up, and for whatever reason, me and my partner picked the rainforest. So we went to the Climatron like probably once a week for like 3 months and just kind of hung out. I don't think we called it the Climatron. We made up a name for it. It was our whole thing. So every time I go to the Botanical Garden, or my friend Christina goes to the Botanical Garden, we always take pictures and send it back and forth to each other because we just spent so much time there. I love the Climatron. Now, the Climatron is actually celebrating its 60th birthday this year. It first opened to the public in 1960 and is the first geodesic dome to be used in a conservatory. The Climatron will be open Thursdays through Sundays, allowing staff to care for the collection safely on the closed days. You can learn more about the Climatron at discoverandshare.org/Climatron60. Now, for the entire month of August, Easter Seals Midwest is teaming up with On the Run and Dirt Cheap for its 12th annual All Stars for Autism campaign. Through August 31st, customers can round up for autism at the register or make a cash donation to help provide families with much needed therapy, education, and support services. For a list of participating gas stations in Missouri and Illinois, visit easterseals.com/Midwest. Earlier this month, I told you about the upcoming 10th annual St. Louis Teen Talent Competition Finals. I actually had the chance to interview Joanna Surenko. She was last year's winner from Kirkwood, and then she also went on to compete in The Voice. Pretty cool stuff right there. Now, they had so many talented acts, and I really want to congratulate all of them to taking the risk and doing that. I just think that's so cool. And a special shout out to Dembare, the hip hop dancer from Kirkwood High School. Yeah, Kirkwood High School won again. He was awarded the first place along with an $8,000 scholarship for his self-choreographed dance, Got It Good. Congratulations, that's so exciting. You guys can check out all of the performances and winners and watch the after party by visiting the Fox Performing Arts Charitable Foundation at foxpacf.org. Now, unfortunately, like so many small businesses around the world, many of our local theater companies are really feeling the impact of the pandemic, and that's likely to get worse with more funding cuts next year. My guest today is going to tell us more about how these companies are kind of coping, as well as how the St. Louis Actors Studio is trying to help through their new Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund. But first, I have to let one of our favorite famous St. Louisans tell us more about this special fundraiser. It's actually really cool. They've got it going on right now. Take a look.
Hey everybody, it's Sterling K. Brown here. I'm excited to tell you about a cool new project I'm working on that will help small professional theaters and give you the chance to win a one-on-one Zoom hangout with me. I've teamed up with the St. Louis Actors Studio to support their Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund. The pandemic has threatened the survival of small professional theaters, as there's no state or local funding, no shows for patrons to attend, and theaters are not the type of small business being supported with economic stimulus funds. This is where you come in. You have the chance to win a private one-on-one Zoom hangout with me just by supporting the Sustainment Fund. Here's what you do. Just click the link below. And for every donation of $75, you will receive 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 chances to win a one-on-one Zoom hangout with me or one of my fellow St. Louis celebs. The more you give, the better your chances. I hope you'll join me in giving generously to support the artistic community, and I look forward to meeting one lucky person for a virtual meet and greet very soon. Take care. God bless.
All right, I am now joined by our guest today, William Roth, the Artistic Director of St. Louis Actors Studios. And I know you're here to talk about this awesome fundraiser where people can kind of get close to some of their favorite stars. But first, can you tell us how smaller theater groups have been impacted by COVID?
Well, they've been shut down completely. Those of us that are equity houses, which means that we have a percentage of our actors are union actors and our stage managers are union and we follow union rules. As soon as COVID hit, we were shut down and not allowed to produce anything. So that's what we are, and that's what we're raising money for. And everyone, that encompasses everyone from the smallest of professional theaters like us to the Muni and the Rep and Broadway.
Which is a huge, hit, especially the people who love going to the theater, love seeing these kind of productions. That's a huge hit to everybody. And those people that work there obviously aren't then making any money.
That's right. I mean, it took a long time to build up the community that we now have. Actors that are seeking careers in town and making almost a living wage at it is now, this took years. 25 years ago or 20 years ago when I started in this, we were acting for each other in church basements, and now there's patronage and professional theaters and shows going on all over town, and actors joining the union and getting paid for their work and their craft.
Are you worried as a group that when COVID maybe vanishes more than that, people won't come back as swiftly?
I'm not as concerned about that as I'm concerned as there'll be nothing to come back to. These small professional theaters like ours have no resources other than grants, which have been cut way back. We've already been told by the Arts Council and the Regional Arts Commission and others that the grants won't be as plentiful, and those that do get funded won't be getting the same amounts that they've been getting in the past, because the arts gets slashed almost immediately when there's budget cuts. And so there's no PPP program for us. There's no small business loans or grants for small theaters, and they will vanish if we don't do something.
And I think that's something that needs to be pointed out, that you guys aren't part of those PPE loans. You guys aren't part of that group. You're really just sitting there kind of on your own.
Right. We're small charitable organizations, small businesses that are left to their own devices to survive, and we can do that when we can put on shows and sell tickets and fundraise and apply for grants. But when you don't have a product to put on the stage, it's hard to get people to pay money for anything.
Right, but you have come up with, I kind of like this little plan you've got going. This kind of sounds kind of fun. So let's tell people about this fundraiser that you have.
Well, I was sitting around with nothing to do, as we just discussed, and it occurred to me in the past, I've reached out to St. Louis actors that have some fame, and there's always a movie project or a TV project or an agent that's in the way of them coming to town for a handful of weeks to do a play. But it occurred to me that none of them are doing much these days because COVID has affected them as well. TV and movies are shut down. So, as I run a theater, a not-for-profit, for the amount of years that I've had, theater isn't always the hook that gets people, at least the masses, to pay or to donate. And so I thought, well, wouldn't it be, could I get more people involved if I came up with a program where they could have a unique chance to hang with some of these famous St. Louis stars? There have been fundraisers in the past where these people show up, but you're in a room full of people and you maybe get 2 seconds of their time. But the idea here was that I would reach out to some St. Louis stars. We'd come up with this idea where people would, for every donation of $75, you get 50 chances to have a online hangout, 20 minutes, one-on-one with these guys. So if you're an actor or an artist and you just want insights on auditioning or how to make it or how to find an agent, those sorts of things, or if you're just a fan that wants to talk to these people that you've admired, you have that opportunity. So I reached out. We had some connections with these folks. I reached out to John Hamm first, and he said yes. And so
of course he did. He's like the Nelly of St. Louis now. I feel like before COVID hit, you see him everywhere in St. Louis.
Hockey games, and he's around. He's a hometown. He doesn't mind being here. He's not ashamed of being from St. Louis, that's for sure, as none of them are. And they all have theater roots. And so Sterling K. Brown was next, and he said yes. Well, first, actually, Neil LaBute, who does work with us, who's a movie director and playwright, he's worked with us for years, and so he, of course, was on board. Sam McMurray, who was in Raising Arizona and Freaks and Geeks and Friends, he's a friend of the Actors Studio. He helped us celebrate our 10th anniversary. He said yes. Corey Finley, who's a local guy who just directed Bad Education for HBO and previously wrote and directed our movie Thoroughbred. We had done his play The Feast, and so he said yes. And Beau Willimon, whose play Farragut North we did, which led to the Clooney movie Ides of March. He's also a local guy. House of Cards was his claim to fame, and Mary Queen of Scots was his most recent movie. he said yes. So we had a broad range of writers and directors and movie stars to choose from, and so we had quite a unique stable to raise some money.
Well, I absolutely love this idea. So this online hangout that somebody might be registered for if they donate is kind of like what we're doing right now, right? It's
exactly
that person in you.
Right.
I kind of love this, and I love the fact that you said for somebody maybe who's aspiring to be somebody, these are the people you want to kind of get to know. We all know that, especially in this business, who you know does help a little bit. So maybe it's a way for you to kind of, get yourself in front of somebody who's writing or directing something.
Right, and they would share the story of, how does someone from St. Louis make it to Hollywood, or make it to movies, or make it to TV, or make it to the Broadway stage. A lot of times in smaller towns like this, we think it's harder, and so someone that has that story that could be yours, I think that talk could be quite enlightening.
Oh, absolutely. And then, of course, just for a fan who
right.
might want to
just starstruck, then 20 minutes of just staring and going, might be interesting too.
Yeah, well, they could probably, to tell other friends, and especially like we mentioned Jon Hamm with Blues Games, even huge hockey fans now just want to be close to Jon Hamm. So right. That might be something for them too. This is a really unique opportunity and a great way to just donate money to those theaters. So how can people do that?
They can visit our website at STLAS/sustain, and all the rules and all the actors and writers, everyone's on there. There are plenty of links to donate to PayPal, and then once we get your donation, we send a letter out that confirms it, and then we put you on the list. And for every $75 donation, you get another 50 chances to hang with one of these guys.
I just love that. Now, how are you gonna send out the donations as you get them in? Is that kind of waiting to see how much you get to start?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it all depends on how much impact we can have. I mean, we have a group of folks that's gonna help me decide that. We make $1 million, it's an easier task than if we make 1,000. So we'll just see how we do.
Well, I think it sounds like a lot of fun and a great way, like you mentioned, for people to kind of get up close and personal. I love that you came up with this just out of need and of boredom.
Yeah, right.
So tell everybody one more time where they need to go so they can maybe enter to win a chance to see one of their favorite movie stars.
You can Google St. Louis Actors Studio, and any link to our website, it's right on the homepage, but specifically stlas.org/sustain.
I love it. William, thank you so much for joining me. I really do feel like this is something people need to definitely check out.
I hope so. If you're not going to join, help me spread the word, because it's really going to do some good for a bunch of theaters.
Absolutely. Thank you again, William. And after you guys go check out that and register to win your chances for your favorite movie star, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can drop us a line here at The Daily Mix at stltv.net. We do want to hear from you. That's going to do it for The Daily Mix. We keep it right here on STL TV and Experience St. Louis.